All right, gang, so today we are checking out GMC's, one of their new offerings, the AT4 trim of the Yukon. Now, this makes the fourth trim available for the Yukon, the SLT, SLE, and the Denali, and the AT4 kind of slips right in that third place just before the luxury Denali version. AT4, of course, being GMC's off-road focused trim, and we're going to walk you through some of that right now. First, from the outside, the most distinctive feature we've got here is the tucked chin and the skid plate that's tucked in underneath there, the red tow hooks. The AT4 is not available in the diesel with the diesel engine like the Denali is, partially because that tucked chin there kind of takes away some of the engine compartment that the diesel needs. So more engineering required. Walking around the rest of the outside, got nice AT4 badging, of course, mirrors that collapse in, and we've taken this through some good paces here. Underneath here in the backside is where the standard tow hitch lives, and you just pop off that panel there and pull it out, and there it is with your connectors. Walking around the rest, we're always really digging the no lever on the inside gas panel, and then no gas cap required, so no trying to look for that in the cockpit space. The tow hitch, 2-inch receiver, standard. Not standard, but optionally available, is some crossbars to go across from this rail tower here. The way we tested this truck was we took it on a 1,500-mile ski trip with my family. So a family of 4, plus my wife's sister, so 5 of us. It was a little tight. We put a bunch of bags in the back. Fortunately, we were also testing the new EXO rack system from Yakima, and that held our skis and had a gearbox on the back, and a box on top would have basically given my wife's sister a little more room in the back. She was pretty crammed in there, so family fit in there pretty well. The car seats, lots of room for the legs for the kids, and anyway, they did well. So the ride, very smooth. It handles very nicely. What I should mention now is there will be talk of the AT4 Premium Plus package as an optional add-on to the AT4, and that includes the air ride suspension that will give you a 2-inch lift, so there's an 8-inch ground clearance. When you drop it into 4 low, it gives you the option to then dial up 2 more inches of ground clearance if you're hitting gnarlier roads. And that's really kind of the beauty of what the Yukon's AT4 trim offers. Is it, for me as a dad with kids and young kids, and I want to take them camping, and I want to go to dispersed remote campsites, not in, catered and facilitated campsites. This truck is going to get us there to many of those places. And that's what I really like about what this has going on. For just 4 of us, plenty of cargo space. We can drop that third row. I think it jumps from like 25 cubic feet behind the third row in the cargo space to something like 72 cubic feet. And that's plenty of room for camping gear, all kinds of stuff. On the towing side, it's about 8,000 pounds. And, that can tow a raft. We can take this rafting, all kinds of adventures await with what the Yukon AT4 offers. So that's the outside. Let's take a look on the inside and see what's going on there. So inside, incredibly spacious and comfortable, contoured seats, leather trim, all very plush. Like I said, this is the third level of trim, just short of the luxury Denali trim. So there's a lot of accoutrements in here that make for things to be very comfortable, including soft touch points for the elbow. I did not have any point during our 1,500 miles where I had to shift around because my hip or elbow or whatever was getting sore from driving and leaning on that. Looking at the steering wheel and the console here, so we've got our standard window control and pre-programmed settings here. Down here is some of our lift control, so 4 high, 4 low, 2 low, and then the adjuster to raise the extra 2 inches, again, if you have that optional air ride suspension installed, and then in auto mode to just let the truck decide when it's feeling the slipping. Trailer control, heads up display controls here, and then a whole host of options here, including you have a 110 watt output, there's 110 volt output, standard plug. You have one of those in the back console in the center and one in the rear. We'll talk more about that later. Lane departure warning, all that kind of stuff that you would expect. On the steering wheel, behind the steering wheel are the paddles on either side for volume control and changing channels. So that's kind of nice for the driver to have. And it keeps turning it on. And then cruise control over here. The AT4 does not come with adaptive cruise control, and that was one of my disappointments. It's deceiving though, because we do have the gap changer here, and as I press this button, you'll see it lets me adjust the gap that doesn't exist in this vehicle. So there's no adaptive cruise. There's regular cruise control, but no adaptive cruise control. Heated steering wheel was super plush at times on our trip. Long press to activate Siri or your Android if you have that going on in here. And then the multi-directional controller for the display down there to choose what you want to see. In the center, you know, a lot of people complain about this kind of shifting system. It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I feel like it's low volume, like it does not take up much space. It's better than a big shifter here or a lever shifter here. I think it's fine. I think it's very easy to find the buttons, and I even had a chance to use the manual shifting there. GMC's got this beautiful display. I've always found GMC's interface to be intuitive. Tri-zone climate control, so left and right seats and the back section. GMC's doing a great job with installing the USB-C ports. We still have the USB-A because there's a lot of devices out there with that still, and then a standard 12-volt cigarette lighter plug there, heated seats, vented seats, manual climate control here, which can also be done on the screen if you're using that. So no need to go flipping through the menus to have to turn up or down the temperature or anything like that. It does also have wireless charging for your phone, so you can just set your phone in there. It has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android. Well, Apple CarPlay for sure. I'm not sure if Android. I don't have an Android phone to test. And then GMC has always done really well, and GM in general, with the Wi-Fi hotspot. And I've always appreciated, as a rider and as someone who works from the road, that's a pretty nice feature to have instead of having to tether my phone. Easy to reach cup holders, love those. And this center console piece here, this thing slides all the way back, and then there's a hidden little drawer here to stash some things. That opens up. And up here in this, it seems like a funny place for it, but up here is a button to bring that in. What's nice about this is it makes these cup holders, when it's all the way back, much easier for the back seat to use. So let's jump in the back seat and see what's going on back there. Second row, captain's chairs. Optional bench would go from a 7-seater to an 8-seater when you flip the back bench up. Part of that AT4 Premium Plus package is the rear media center. I think it's pretty smart. I don't know that I would get it, but maybe if my kids are older, but they can go to the map and they can do their own mapping and everything. And then for the USB, Miracast, HDMI connections, and Bluetooth headphones, the rear console has plug-in options here for all of those, and then the rear climate control for whoever's back here to manage that. Yeah, I find the leg room to be decent and comfortable. You know, they're not as comfortable as the front row seats. And then in the very back, I've got the seats down just to show the spaciousness of the cargo area. And we'll look in from the back and flip those up and have a look at that here in a moment. But also part of that Premium Plus package is this panoramic sunroof. Let's go to the very back and flip up those seats and see what it looks like. All right, so now we're in the way back. I've got there's a 60-40 split. I've got the 60 up and the 40 down. And, you know, that's not bad for leg space in here. It's, if you had 3 adults side by side and you couldn't, you know, use that leg space, that might be a little bit harder to manage with. But, not bad. Part of the reason it can have so much space back here is the independent rear suspension allows for there to be more space to work with back here. And that, I think, gives the third row more legroom, more comfort. In the rear seating, they have USB-C plugs for whoever's riding in the back to be able to plug in there. So they've got the power assisted tailgate, so you just pop your hand in there. If you've got the key in your pocket, you know, it senses that. It's all very remote. Opens that up. Just show you the remote. It has a remote start, has open the tailgate, open the rear window hatch, lock, unlock, and panic button. Okay, so back in here, got some controls here. I'm kind of mystified as to why they've gone with only a 110 volt socket back here and have completely forgone a 12 volt cigarette lighter plug, which is what, I mean, my Dometic can plug into this, but it's not nearly as efficient. So it's just drawing on more power than it needs to. Maybe it doesn't matter because it's running off an engine, a generator essentially. And then got our left and right. That seems a bit excessive to me. I don't have any problem manually lifting up, you know, rear seats when I need it. But like I said, it's one trim short of the premium Denali trim. There's also a little bit of storage space, like tiny amount of storage space. You got your jack. You could put some emergency equipment underneath here. Again, the irony of emergency equipment being tucked away like that is you have to unload everything or move things around if you have stuff back here to get it out. So push button tailgate drop. Well, there you have it, the all new for 2021 AT trim on both the Yukon and the Yukon XL by GMC.